Hi, hope everybody's doing okay out there in quarantine land. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these beautiful little books. So these get called all sorts of things: labyrinth books, maze books. Sometimes they get called those weird books that are really hard to fold, but I don't think they're hard to fold at all. And I think that it's just, you've just got to be really careful with one of the cuts. And if you open the whole thing out, you'll see, whoop, if you're very careful with it, let it drop, that it's made from a single sheet of A4 paper. Here we go. There we go. So what you're going to need is an A4 sheet of paper, a pair of scissors, 2 pieces of cardboard that are the same size, and I'll show you how to measure those in a little bit, some lovely paper to cover them with, a very sharp pencil, and some pretty wool or ribbon or lovely string, something that you can tie the book up together with. Your first fold is going to be classic, fold it in half like a card. Now, if you remember some of the folds that we did in the 8-page zine, we're going to copy some of the folds from there. So fold it in half like a card, press it down really hard again, fold it back on itself, fold one edge back on itself, and then we're going to flip it over and fold the other edge back on itself. And if you remember from the 8-page zine, if you've got an M shape or a W shape, then you've got the right shape. So this next fold's a little bit trickier because you've got to fold it into 3. You've got to do it quite evenly. So the way that I do it is I just kind of bend it as gently as I can, and without putting the folds into place, just sort of manoeuvre it until it's about right. And I can see there that I've got the edges meeting the fold that I want to put in the paper. And then I'm going to squish it down hard again. So now you're going to need your scissors. Open out your sheet of paper and open out one of the quarters. It doesn't matter which one. And what you're going to do is keep in mind that you've got 3/4 of the piece of paper here, 1/4 here. And you're going to choose one side and cut in the 3/4. Then fold it up again, flip it over, open out the other side, and you can keep the quarter that you've just cut folded in, and then cut it on the other side. Like this. So when you open it out, what you'll find is that you've cut it into almost an N shape. And if you find it easier to open the whole thing out, cut up one side and cut up the other, then do that. That's absolutely fine. Now I'm going to show you how to fold it up. Let's get rid of our scissors. You take your first side and you concertina it, so fold it backwards and forwards on top of itself until you get to the end. And then you should find that it just folds over, then fold it back on itself, forward. So you're concertinaing the whole thing up until you've got a really nice, neat book block. So to give it a hard back and make it really secure and really strong, you'll need 2 pieces of cardboard. So I've got some cardboard just from some books that I got delivered. So the way that I measured it was laying my book block on top of the cardboard, drawing around it so that it's got a little bit of an edge. You can see there it's got a bit of an edge along the outside, and that'll just overhang and it will keep it nice and secure. It'll make it look proper pro as well. If you do want to cover them in paper, again, get some paper, any colour. It doesn't have to be the same colour on both sides, it could be different colours on each side, and draw around. It doesn't, and again, if you can see here, I've not cut it very straight, and it's going to overhang, and that's totally fine because that'll all get covered up. So draw around the edge, and then take your scissors and cut the corners off, but lining it up with the line that you've just drawn, so around the piece of cardboard. So we're going to do that on all four sides, like so. And this will make the covering of it really, really neat. Then take some glue. I might have forgotten to mention that at the beginning, so I'm really sorry about that. Cover the paper in glue and make sure it goes right to the edge. Put your piece of cardboard into the middle where you've drawn, and then really, really, really strongly fold it over so that it's nice and tight. You need to take one of your blocks, and in the middle, this is where your sharp pencil comes in. What you're going to do is put two little dots in the middle like this, next to each other, and you might need to get a bit of help with this. What you need to do is go all the way through, so you should be able to see them on the other side as well. You poke it all the way through, keeping your fingers away from the pencil because we don't want any stuck fingers, especially at the moment. So we've got the holes in our piece of cardboard, and next thing we want to do is to cut a piece of wool or ribbon or string or something to tie it up with. So put your book block together, get your lovely piece of wool or ribbon. I've got some really nice rainbow wool here that a lovely person gave to me, so it's all recycled, come from a reclaimed source. I'm just going to measure it out by wrapping it around there, seeing how long I want it. So just going to go that. Take your piece of cardboard with the holes in it, and what you need to do is poke the string, or the wool in this case, through the cardboard so that the two ends hang on the outside. So I'm going to go one side there and the other side, keeping my fingers away from the pencil. You might want to use a piece of blue tack or something or something soft to poke it into. So I've put the wool through the cardboard. I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to cover this in glue. Take your book block and then just push it over the top. Take your glue, cover the top of your book block in glue as well. Lid on so it doesn't dry out, and then put your second piece of cardboard over the top and press it down nice and hard. And there you have your finished maze book. So I'd love to see what you make out of your maze book. So once you've finished it, tag us and we'll share you in our stories. I've always thought that they would make a really lovely map book when you could follow a journey all the way through the different stages of the book. Or maybe lovely diary pages, so something different that happens on each day. And obviously you can use both sides, so it makes it a bit of a secret book as well. Show us your best ways to stay creative, and we'll share them in our stories.